Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Tuesday, the 19th day of October 2021. We are one day away from the opening night of the 2021-2022 NBA season and our New York Knicks. I hope you're all COVID-free today. I hope you're healthy. I hope your family is all COVID-free and healthy, and that the needs of your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field who are trying to save lives every day. Blessings upon those that pick up garbage for us to keep our places clean. Blessings upon those that make deliveries for our convenience and comfort. Double blessings on those trying to deliver, trying to help, trying to recover, trying to rescue boys and girls, men and women, children and teenagers from the business of human trafficking, sex trade operations and sex slavery, prostitution, child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, pedophilia, child molestation, and double curses on all the grown people who support these industries and this destruction of human life, human minds, and human bodies. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. 600,000 men, women, children, and families living in the streets of the United States of America, and more, growing all the time. Millions around the world, including places like Philippines, Haiti, Afghanistan, India, and other places, without a roof over their head and no way of knowing where their next meal is coming from, especially children. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom, and double blessings on those who have the heart to try to help even a little. Brethren, today I want to talk about the best ability in the NBA. The best ability that causes teams to win or lose championships as important as any other ability is the availability. And again, I want to point out why we deep is an important thing in this availability. So last year, LeBron was hurt for a good portion of the year. The Lakers did not win the championship. The Celtics are missing Jaylen Brown because of COVID restrictions right now. Without Jaylen Brown, they're going to have a hard road to hoe to win the championship. The Brooklyn Nets are missing Kyrie, but they still good with Durant and Harden as long as both of them are healthy. If they lose one of them, they're in trouble. The Philadelphia 76ers were about to not have to play with Ben Simmons, but now they're getting him back. But we don't know how that's going to work out. That could hurt their championship aspirations. Pascal Siakam was hurt last year for most of the year, a lot of the year with Toronto Raptors. That hurt their aspirations. And it goes on. If Milwaukee Bucks was to lose Giannis, they're done. If the Hawks were to lose Trae Young, they're done. You see, all of these, LaMelo Ball was hurt. The Charlotte Hornets were the 6th in the East at the time they lost LaMelo Ball and Gordon Hayward. That was it. Miami needs Bam Adebayo. They got a lot of good players, including Jimmy Butler. But if you lose Bam Adebayo or Jimmy Butler, they're done. Again, you have a whole bunch of teams. If Denver would have lose the Joker, as it was, they lose Jamal Murray. They couldn't make it. Okay? If Portland was to lose, forget Dame. If they would lose CJ McCollum, they done. If Utah was to lose Rudy Gobert or Donovan Mitchell, done. Golden State would lose Curry, forget it. Okay? They had Curry last year, but no Klay Thompson, done. Okay? The Clippers have already lost Kawhi. They might be done, but let's say they still in it because they got a deep team. Deep. I'm in a Mob Deep mood today. Mob Deep. Survival of the fittest. That's what this is about. I'm in a Mob Deep mood. The Knicks reminded me of survival of the fittest. But see, you get the point. If Phoenix was to lose Devin Booker or CP3, either or, done. Okay, and it goes on. If the Mavs were to lose Luka, forget about it. Forget about it. No shot. No shot. Okay, so you can see all of these teams are vulnerable with just one injury. That's it. Okay, and that one injury can cost them any shot they have, some at the championship, sometimes even at the playoffs. Which is why the best ability is availability, and you're going to see the effects of that this year. Why do I say that? We're coming off a condensed 72-game season. We're still dealing with COVID. So I hope, I don't want to see any team or anybody, lose players to COVID, because you could be taking care. See, a lot of times could keep yourself in shape, could do everything, because conditioning has a lot to do with being available, being in shape, being conditioned. Some players don't put the time in, quiet as kept as they should, and that causes injury. So, but COVID, who could stop COVID, right? You could protect yourself, you can get shot, you could get the mask, and you still might, get sick, or you might be in contact with somebody that's sick, and then now you're shelved for at least 10 days, sometimes more. Okay, or you can unfortunately get the COVID, unfortunately. See? So, and then last year, we know Boston was dependent on Kemba. They were dependent on Kemba to be a very major part of their team to get to the playoff. Kemba was out, so they had to depend on Peyton Pritchard. Now, Peyton Pritchard's a pretty good player, but he was no Kemba Walker, and he's not in a position to lead them like a Kemba would. Now you're dealing with Jaylen Brown, as well. And then, so again, so that is why having a deep team is extremely important. In this particular year, we're going back to an 82-game season. An 82-game season. And for a lot of the players that were rookies in the season that was cut short to COVID, and then coming back to a 72-game season this year, this is going to be the first time they're dealing with the real NBA 82-game season. Guys like Michael Porter Jr., it's going to be the first time he's dealing with an 82-game season. Like Obi, like Quick, it's going to be the first time. Then, of course, this year's rookies. And then you got vets who have basically had 2 years without 82 games, now getting back into that flow. You're going to see some injuries. And depth is going to become extremely important. Again, take Milwaukee. If Giannis is not able to play or go for any extended time, their chances of repeating go down dramatically. Okay? If he's not able to play. All right? And anybody else on that team, they can have everybody else, but they lose Giannis, their championship hopes are done. Okay? I had Indiana in the top 6 position this year, but then I expected TJ Warren and Karis LeVert to be available. They're not. Okay? So for the Knicks, we have Kemba at the point guard. But if you're going to judge from the preseason, D Rose is better. And he's coming off the bench. Okay? IQ got his issues, but if you put together IQ, D Rose, and we ain't even let Deuce loose yet, we good. We ain't losing nothing. We good. If Evan Fournier doesn't pan out, if he doesn't show up, if he falters, if for whatever reason, which I doubt, he's in his prime right now, so he's going to be good. But if he's not, IQ steps in at the 2. We done already saw Quentin Grimes work. Okay, we good. Alec Burke, we good. If RJ, for some reason, regresses or gets hurt, we got Alec Burke. We got Quentin Grimes. We deep. At the 5 right now, Nerlens Noel's not ready for opening night. Okay. Mitchell Robinson's there. Taj Gibson is there. And we saw from Friday night, if we need to, we can go small ball with Julius at the 5 and roll. We good. Julius can play the 4. And if he needs to move, play the 5 or gets hurt, Obi's ready. I can't say Obi's getting ready. I can say Obi's ready. Obi's ready at the 4. Taj could also play the 4. We good. There's no position on the floor that we're not at least 2 or 3 deep. No position. The 15th man, Selden, could come in for some time if we need him to. We good. This is the deepest Knicks team. I can't remember the last time, really, that the last time the Knicks were this deep. I really can't. I'm trying to go back to the championship years. That's about, that's about the last time we were this deep at every position. Really, it's been a long time. And so we really are deep at every spot. It's not like when we had Melo, Carmelo playing with us. If Carmelo got hurt, we really, didn't have another Carmelo behind him. Nobody that could come in and make up 25 points a game. But we don't worry about that now. Our number one gun is Julius. And again, if Julius happens to be out, now we need Julius. But I'm going to tell you, I'm very confident Obi Toppin will step up. Obi Toppin is a star in the making. He really is. And you give him 30 minutes a game, you're going to see, you're going to see 20 points. You're going to see that. He's going to be a problem. RJ is 21. He's going to be a problem. So this is why the availability part is extreme. To me, this year is more important than any year in the last 3 or 4 years because of the COVID, because of what it effects it's had on NBA season. It's more important this year because this is the first 82 games. Then you got 82 games. Then you're going to have the playoffs. It becomes extremely important. Durability for the players becomes extremely important. Like I said, Trae Young, I call him the leprechaun, but I'm joking with him. He's a great player, right? But if he's slightly built, small, right? So if he hurt for 15 games, Atlanta's going to have a problem. Like Sharif Cooper is okay, but he ain't Trae Young. He's a rookie. And he's not Trae Young. Okay. So you would have a problem there. Okay. They already, to me, they got depth because they missing Onyeka Okongwu for an extended period of time, but they're able to weather that. Okay. They're missing Gallinari for a little bit and they're able to weather that, but they're just an injury to trade away from really, that's it. They're talking about trying to be the AC at that point. Okay. And this is the long season. So you got to be prepared for this. We're already in New York. We understand Kemba may not be able to go the whole season. We understand his knees may not show up, but we got so many options. We could switch Kemba and D Rose. You could put D Rose in the starting lineup for 25 minutes. That's not going to kill D Rose. And then you could put Kemba on the bench and play him 15, 20 minutes. You could switch it. Okay. Or you could keep D Rose come at the bench. Tom Thibodeau likes IQ. Put IQ at the point. I know some of y'all don't like that, but I'm very confident. Over the time, IQ is getting better. On the low, he's getting better at the point guard position. Stats not showing up yet. Give him some time. He really is, to me, a natural two guard. But he could play the point. And then you got Deuce, who I already told y'all last summer. I think Deuce is better than IQ. He's just a rookie in Tom Thibodeau's system right now. But give Deuce another season. We're going to be all right. You know what I mean? So, low key, the Knicks, in drafting Quentin Grimes, Jokovitis, IQ, and then getting that 58 Jericho Sims, we low key got steals at this draft, man. We stole this draft. Seriously. I mean, Leon the Don did the thing, man. And so, all of our rooks, so we got Jericho Sims in the G League training. Why? Because we so deep at the 5. You can't even get Deuce off the bench yet. Why? Because we got Kemba Walker, D Rose, and IQ. So the Knicks are in good shape being so deep. That's why I'm telling y'all, yeah, we here, but we deep. And that's very important because look, the best ability in the NBA, especially this year, you're going to see availability. That's the best ability. Availability. Okay, you're going to see that. It used to be back in the day, and I'm just saying, it used to be like in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s. It was a regular thing for guys to play 82 games. I mean, it wasn't no big deal. When a guy didn't play 82 games, he was getting labeled as injury prone back at that time. Okay. But what's going on now, it's changed. And one of the reasons it's changed, is it's become a star driven league. What do I mean by that? Well, when Magic and Bird came in the league, the NBA did a smart thing and started marketing them. Converse, they both wore Converse. Converse was marketing them, and they were just marketing them. And so that brought more attention to the NBA because the NBA had started suffering. And the reason it was started suffering is because when you got in the 70s and 80s, black players started dominating the league. See, in the 60s and 50s, they didn't because they were limited to how many black players they could have on each team. They didn't say that, but that was the unwritten rule all the way down to high school. But then in the 70s, they started dominating the league, and it was actually hurting because now your Caucasian customers wasn't as interested. So they started marketing. Here come Larry Bird, the great white hope, and he was a tremendous, great player. There's no question. I'm not taking it away from him. Great player. One of the greatest ever was Larry Bird, especially at the forward position. And then you bring in him and Magic at the same time. That bring the NBA back. Then you bring a Michael Jordan and Nike, a new company, Nike, and boom, it's become a star-driven league. So now the focus is on individual stars. And then you bring China into the mix. See, China helped save the NBA. That's why Yao Ming came. You're talking about over 1 billion people. You get, let's say, 10% of them that loves the NBA, and it's more than that. You talk about 100 million people right there, right? So now you bring them in, and now it's blowing up. That's why Marbury could go over there and make a fortune, right? Star-driven league. So that because of that, some of the stars started getting hurt. Like Anthony Davis is hurt all the time. I mean, really quiet as kept. You look at Anthony Davis' career. He hardly ever plays a full season, but he's a star. And so that starts a trend where you start getting guys playing 60, 70 games. Now you got what they call it, where they limiting their minutes, right? Because it's a star-driven league, but it's still a team game. You win championships. Yeah, you need stars to win, but it ain't as important as people think. It's a team game. You need 5 guys, you need 7 guys, you need 9 guys that can come out and win. Look at the Boston Celtics back in the day. They had McHale, Bird, Parrish. They had Bill Walton coming off the bench. They had they had Dennis Johnson, and then they started this pain in the neck kid that was pretty good out of BYU called Danny Ainge, who I couldn't stand. And so they had all of that. And that's how they won championships. Lakers, deep championships. Bulls, Scottie Pippen, yep, they had Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was in the league 6 or 7 years before he won the championship. And it wasn't until he got Scottie Pippen, and then it wasn't until he started getting shooters. And then when he started getting shooters like Craig Hodges and people around him, and they got Bill Cartwright because the Knicks had 2 centers at the 5, couldn't play them both, so they traded Cartwright, and they got Oak. Right? Cartwright joined Bulls with Jordan and them. Now you had a team. Right? You always need a team to win a championship. So that being the case, the Knicks are in very, very good spot this year. Very good spot. The Thibodeau style, the culture, the Knicks, Leon Rose's and the crew's genius, the coaching, the whole back door, on the back, behind the scenes coaching with Kenny Payne and Johnny Bryant and all the cats doing their work. The scouting with Walt Perrin. We are in the best position we have been. And when's the last time we won a championship? 73? So you're talking about 50 years almost? 48 years? It's the best position Knicks been in. And it's the deepest. They were deep back then. I can't remember all of the players, but the Knicks were deep in 73. They were deep in 70 and 73. They were deep. Okay. They really could go 10 deep at that time. But now we haven't been this deep since. So, all you guys who are millennials or you guys who are 90s fans and coming at, you guys who are 90s fans might be in your 40s now, enjoy this because this is really, I'm telling you, we ain't been like this in a minute. And I know some of y'all still suffering from PTSD from, when Isaiah Thomas ran into the ground, and from some of these knuckleheads that traded Patrick Ewing and, I know, I get, especially in the last 20 years, but I'm telling you, this is a situation right here that we haven't seen in New York in almost 50 years, really. So availability is going to be the best ability to have, better than jumping ability, better than shooting ability, better than defending ability, availability. And we got the deep crew to go make, to be available when we need them. We got, when you're talking about a Deuce McBride, who would probably definitely be in the rotation if he was in Detroit, if he was in Cleveland, if he was in Chicago, if he was in Indiana, if he was in most teams in the NBA, Deuce McBride be either starting or in the crew. He'd be part of the 8-9 man rotation, and he'd be turning it out, similar to what Tyrese Maxey got in Philly. You would get that with Deuce, but we can't even get him off the bench right now. And I'm not complaining. That's just showing how deep we are. Mob deep. Survival of the fittest. Okay? That's what it is. Okay? I can't play the music because I'll get in trouble, but y'all know. Anyway, that's today. I wanted to just go over that, let y'all know. As we getting ready to start the season tomorrow, we deep. And what you're going to see in the first 20 games, you're going to see us struggle a little bit because Tom really, like he said 4 games not enough to really get his first unit the way he wants it. And I know, so, we all saw Kemba struggle, defensively. Both again, not just Friday night against Washington, but also against, who was it, Detroit? We saw him struggle a couple. Not Detroit. He didn't play against Detroit, but against Washington both times and against Indiana. We saw him tentative a little bit, struggle a little bit. Tom Thibodeau's going to let Kemba Walker play until Kemba Walker cries, "Uncle, take me out." He's going to do that because he loves his vets. That's really, and this, I hear you, some of y'all saying, well, why he do that? He need to change. He's not going to change. It is what it is. But the good thing is guys like Obi, guys like IQ, guys like Grimes, guys like Deuce, guys like RJ, it's not only a couple of years and they're vets. So imagine what he's going to be like with them. He's going to be favoring them when it's time. We're talking about a year from now. He's going to be favoring a guy like Obi. He's going to be favoring, a guy like Grimes or IQ. Because those are now his crew. He knows them. He's familiar with them. So everybody will get their chance. Everybody get their time. I'm not worried about that myself because I know he's going to get your time. So he's going to give Kemba until Kemba is embarrassing himself. And Kemba's too proud and had played at such a high level in his life. If he sees that he's embarrassing himself on the court, he will be the first one to say, you know what, put me on the bench. I believe that. Kemba's not going to hurt the team for his stats. He's not going to do that. That's just not him. See? So he's going to let Kemba and Evan and them try to work this out for like 20 games. And it's going to look a little ugly. You're going to see in the beginning of the season, it's the bench that's going to really be our bread and butter for a minute here because that's just how it's going to be until either the starting 5 meshes or they change it up. Okay, but I'm not worried either way. The Knicks going to be in good shape. The team usually starts slow. I'm just telling y'all because it's just like, look at Miami. All the defensive oriented teams for some reason, they start off slow and they start getting better as the year goes on. I told y'all that last year. Knicks were under 500 for almost like the first half of the season. And part of that was he was sticking with Elfrid Payton regardless, right? He was sticking with Elfrid Payton. And then Mitch got hurt. And then he got D Rose. Then D Rose got COVID. But we started still all doing that. We started getting better. And then when D Rose came back from the COVID, we went on a winning streak, right? And now still with Elfrid Payton, right? So there's no more Elfrid Payton, right? And as bad as Kemba might be, he's not Elfrid Payton. So yeah, there's that. So we're going to start off a little slow, but you're going to see them get in the groove and start rolling in a minute, man. So don't worry about it. I'm telling you not to worry about it. I know there's some Knicks fans going to trip anyway. Yes, it's Knicks Nation. It's all good. But y'all, please enjoy your Tuesday. Be safe out there. I'm all hyped for tomorrow's game. We all going to be watching it. I am not going to go live. Every time I go live during the Knicks game, we lose. So y'all can forget that. I'm not doing it. All right. I want us to win. All right. So we're going to do it that way. But y'all be safe out there. Enjoy yourselves. Shalom.